I really need to clean this room. Hey guys, it's Maggie and I am back today, and as you can see I am in the plant hallway where I used to film. I was recently asked about giving a little bit of a garden update, so I thought I would do that today while also talking about a subject where I've noticed recently an uptick in questions about on my channel. I think because one of my videos kind of got picked up by YouTube and got a number of views, all of my other older videos also started to trend upwards, so I started getting more questions on things I've talked about in the past, and one of those is fertility. So I figured while I am tending to my plants today, I would talk to you about a little bit of a fertility update. If you like my channel and my videos, I would love if you subscribed and gave this video a thumbs up, followed me over on Instagram. But if you've been following along for a while now, you may know that about a year and a half ago, Zach and I had our first fertility appointment. We've been married for 2.5 years now about. October 10th, 2020 was our wedding date. So pretty much when we got married, maybe a little bit beforehand, there was no prevention because we want kids. I don't know if you noticed this, I like chaos. We have 4 dogs, and I've had a number of people think that that's really stupid, you know, even in college, just people saying, oh, what a dumb idea to have that many dogs in college, and I love it. I love the chaos. Clearly, I wouldn't have kept it this way for pretty much our whole relationship, which is over 10 years now. We've had a lot of dogs, we've had a lot of chaos. I love that, and I, for a very long time, have wanted a large family. But obviously, I have some physical problems. I have some health issues that make this difficult. By the way, I have my Celosia here. If you remember, I planted them probably about 2 months ago, and they just went crazy. I've had trouble growing them in the past, but these guys, not so much. So I've had tons of flowers at this point. Only a couple weeks ago, I showed you guys some of the blooms that were happening on it, and there was just like a couple. Now pretty much every plant has blooms. So I've got, you know, magenta colored, I've got a nice light pink here, I've got some yellow ones. Let me show this to you guys. I really wanted to grow a lot of flowers this year, but I kind of shifted my focus growing, you know, less plants and really learning how to grow them well and how to work with the soil and grow plants that help improve the soil quality. So I still wanted to grow a lot of flowers though, and that's what I'm doing. They make me happy and I like making my bouquets. But anyways, yes, I have obviously a lot of health issues going on, and it can be a little difficult when I talk about some symptoms I've been having recently, like the nausea, and I just keep getting comments of, are you sure you're not pregnant? I'm like, yes, based on the amount of blood that I just had come out of me, pretty sure there's no pregnancy going on. It's pretty obvious to me that I'm not. Plus, I tested, I don't know how many millions of times it feels like. But I've had so much surgery, and I have been told by surgeons, like during my kidney surgery, that I just had adhesions everywhere. I had scar tissue and Crohn's disease around my vagina, like on the outer, I don't even know, but on the outer edges, that's what I was told. I had scar tissue up to my liver, and it's everywhere. And so when people are like, oh, just, you know, stop stressing out about it, it'll happen. It's been 2.5+ years. It hasn't happened. I think the diagnosis of infertility is 1 year of, you know, no prevention and not getting pregnant. So I've gone over that by quite a bit, and that's not to say that it is completely impossible for it to happen on my own, but I'm not counting on it. So I wound up going to the fertility appointment. Basically what we did was we had our initial appointment with the doctor. I really liked him. He was wonderful, explained everything amazingly to us. This happened over a Zoom call, so Zach was part of it as well. And then I went in to get blood work. I got a transvaginal ultrasound. They said that I had tons of eggs. Depending on where I was in my cycle, like my blood work and my egg count and everything looked like it was right where it should be. I think it was right before I was about to ovulate, and they were like, yep, looks like we can see which egg is gonna pop out. Again, completely, this is not my territory. I don't know this stuff nearly as well as I know the GI system. So everything was on track, and the doctor had given me this whole list of tests that I needed to get done. And with insurance and fertility stuff, a lot of the time, insurance does not cover it. And I found that my insurance at the time was gonna cover some stuff, but not all of it. And it's expensive to go through this stuff. And to be honest, I didn't know how much I really wanted to do. And the list of tests were just overwhelming. They sent me a whole list, and I was like, could you maybe give me like 1 or 2 priority tests you want me to get done? The nurse just resent the same list to me, and I was like, I just feel very overwhelmed. Life is at a weird point for us. You know, there's so many uncertainties. I'm gonna pause. And then, you know, I had trouble with dehydration and stuff. I've had some different health issues going on, and it's been 1.5 years since I had that fertility appointment, and I just haven't done anything about it. And that's not to say that there haven't been months where we have actively tried and stuff. I'm not doing anything with these plants. I meant to I meant to tell you guys that I want to cut some of the flowers off to help boost the growth of them. So I'm going to start doing that as I talk. So it's not to say that I didn't have months of actively trying where I was, you know, saying, okay, I'm going to track my ovulation. I have become very familiar, and I did talk to the fertility doctor at the time and told him how I was doing it, and he was like, yep, that's correct. And it seems like I was ovulating when I thought I was. These are all things that have been checked. And so I was tracking all of that and planning, and nothing happened. The other part of this too is, look at how pretty this is. I love it. I'm gonna make a tiny baby bouquet. I'm just cutting these off because it'll help with branches. It'll branch out a little bit more and hopefully create more flowers. That'll be cool. The other part of this though is that I do have adenomyosis. I actually bought a book so I could look further into it, and just haven't had time to really deep dive into what it is and how it can affect me. But I have, it's been seen on a couple of different MRIs. I have focal adenomyosis. Essentially, it's like the endometrium poking further into the uterus than it should. That is my understanding of it. What I have found is there are way less resources for adenomyosis than there is endometriosis, which there is limited endometriosis resources out there. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's hard to find information about it. The doctors that I've spoken to, really the fertility doctor was the only one familiar with it. So I don't know. I just don't know enough about it to know if it's actually affecting me. I have heavy periods, what I would consider, after Googling how much blood I'm supposed to lose every month. I would consider it a heavy period, but I also feel like the amounts that are online are just wildly inaccurate. I have no idea. Online, it says you're supposed to lose like 2 to 3 tablespoons of blood per cycle. No, I'm losing that like every couple hours. So it's a little scary. I don't know if that's because the adenomyosis, it's supposed to be a small spot. I think it's like 1 centimeter by 2 centimeters or something. I have no idea. It says it on my MRI paperwork. Supposedly I have this. I do get cramping, but not like excessive pain. I get these cramps, and it's not even always during my period, but I do notice it's more during my period. That is like it's sort of on my back. It like goes to my back. It's a very strong pain, but it only lasts maybe 10 minutes at most. Sorry, my bang is like irritating me. It's grown out too much. That's something I want to do, is get a nice haircut. I am very bad at getting haircuts and don't remember the last time I got one. But that's besides the point. I don't know if it's affecting me or not. Going to my gynecologist, they didn't know what adenomyosis was. I mean, the doctor had heard of it, but not the nurses, and the doctor didn't really know what to do. She didn't give me any suggestions other than like go to pelvic floor therapy, but that was more so because I said I was wanting to get pregnant, and I had the proctoclectomy surgery and had my rectum taken out. So she was like, go to pelvic floor therapy. That will help prepare your pelvic floor and get you in the best possible place for it. But at the same time, I'm like, what about that focal spot of adenomyosis? Do I need to do anything about it? It might be affecting me, but I don't know. I think I have heavy periods. I only have my period to compare it to. And it feels like it's heavier than it was, but it doesn't bother me. And like the pain that I get, the weird back pain cramp, I don't know, like it goes away so fast, and compared to all the other pains I've felt in my life, it's so minor. So I'm cutting off a lot of flowers here, geez. Maybe I'll slow it down because I don't want to take too much away. Do I want to cut that one? Let's leave that one. Let me cut this guy. I think that'll be my last one. There we go. Okay. So I've got my little bunch of flowers, my celosia. So pretty. I love it. So I don't really know where I am health-wise when it comes to my pelvic floor. The fertility doctor did know the most about it. He wanted me to get all these tests done, like the saline something or other. Basically, they squirt saline up into the fallopian tubes to see if they're clear or not. And there was another test that was sort of similar to that. And I just have this fear of it being painful because I'm worried that there's scar tissue up there that's going to block. And I've heard of some people having a lot of pain with it, and I'm just like, they told me to take an ibuprofen. I'm not really supposed to take it, but that doesn't mean I don't, because sometimes I just take it because I'm in pain. But honestly, if I'm going to have pain because of scar tissue, I feel like an ibuprofen is not going to cut it, so I'm just really nervous about it. Yeah, and I just want to make sure that I am in the best position health-wise. I think I've sort of improved in some ways and then not improved in other ways. Like feeling-wise, I'm a little my energy is low, but weight-wise, I went up. That was a concern of my fertility doctor because at the time I was only 94 pounds, and he asked me about that, and I said, you know, I don't think it's an issue. I've been at this weight for a long time, and now I'm between 96 and 98 pounds. So, and I'm also eating meat again, which I wasn't eating at the time, and I think that could be beneficial to this. So all of this to say, I don't know when I want to go back, but I do want to go back. All right, let me switch these guys out. I've got my Celosia here. A lot of it I did start from cuttings. Like, did I start this one from a cutting? I don't know, but this one I did. Isn't that amazing? I took like, if I were to cut that branch off right there, stuck it in soil, and now it is this. And I showed you guys that on camera, I think. This one I started from seed, and I showed it to you guys not that long ago on, I think on Instagram, and it's gotten a lot taller. So I'm very happy because I've never really had a ton of success growing these from seed. This year I did. Look at how pretty that is. I love it. But I think I want to cut a couple more branches off and just stick whatever I cut off into the soil and make it a bushier plant. That'll also help it branch out a little bit more. Hi! I'm filming.
Let's come and say hi.
Want to say hi?
Oh, those are beautiful.
I know.
This one's incredible.
It's my favorite. Well, look, I actually took cuttings off of it. This is gonna drip. I took cuttings off of it and I started it in soil. So I was doing a fertility update because a couple of my videos. Wow, I cut the Celosia.
Incredible! I love the coleus.
It's my favorite. I love it.
What is this one?
I don't know the names of the different colei. That sounds like a.
It's related to the GI channel. E. coli.
Yeah.
Colei.
I was updating about fertility because a couple of you saw my one video kind of took off, and then a bunch of my other videos started to get more comments from like the past. So.
It smells so fresh in here.
It does. I love it.
We should have a room like this, or a section like this in every room of the house.
I know. I would love that.
That's all. I have to come to say hi, but I'm gonna grab some more coffee.
All right. Stealing my coffee.
Do you want some?
No, I have mine in here. Don't knock it over.
Hi guys.
Love you. What was I saying after he got me off track here? I highly recommend if you ever get coleus in the summer to like fill a planter, just take a couple cuttings off of it, stick it in water during the winter, and then replant it in spring because you'll save money and also it's just so easy to do. So we have all these planters around our barn and I'm going to fill it in with a bunch of these. I also, let me show you this, the pansies and the violas that I started. They are flowering now. And this weekend it's supposed to get up to 70 degrees. So I believe that I am going to start getting things acclimated to the temperatures outside. I still have my onions inside. They really didn't do super great. A lot of them did die off, but I still have probably about half of them. So I'm actually planning on planting them outside this weekend. I've got garlic outside that I planted back in the fall. I want to say I probably did that November, and that's growing amazing. I'm gonna grow potatoes. I'm trying sweet potatoes, a red potato, a russet. I don't know. You know, my potatoes grew eyes, and I figure let me just throw them out there in the yard and see what I get. It's called chaos gardening, and I love that method. I'm very good at it. So that is my plan. What else do I have? I have a ton of coleus. Like, this is a shelf of it. I've got another shelf up there, a few more up there. I've got my peppers all the way at the top because they got too tall for my shelving units. The only thing that is not popping its head out of the ground yet is tomatoes. And I love tomatoes. I decided, because I want to grow less but higher quality plants and like really focus on their health and making sure that they've got all their nutrients that they need, I'm only growing a few tomatoes. I think I grew 45 or 50 plants last year. I only started 18 seeds this year. And they're started late because I really wanted Amish paste. That was my favorite tomato from last summer, and figured out that I don't know what I did with these seeds that I saved from last year's tomatoes. So I had to go buy them and I had to wait for shipping and all that. So I just started them, and I know it's the end of March. Today is the last day of March, and they might be delayed. That's fine. I'll work with it. But I'm doing Amish paste, a cherry tomato, and another tomato called bread and butter. No, not bread and butter, bread and salt. And that's from Baker Creek. That's where I get a lot of these seeds. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I'm looking forward to it. Started a bunch of different types of lettuce, like spinach, bok choy. I'm trying to think what else. I've got different herbs. I've got my basil, dill. My dill's actually doing really well. I don't think you can see it. Let me pull this guy out. These are my dill plants over here. Calendula I've got going. Gomphrena I've got going. A couple different types of dianthus. So yeah, trying to make a very bee happy garden and just really good quality plants. This year with my peppers, I topped them, so I cut the tops off of them to try and get them to be more branchy. We'll see how that works out. I'm hoping it works out well and I get a lot more peppers this year. I'm also trying to garden in a smaller space this year because I think that I maybe gave too much room to the plants where it allowed for a lot of weeds to grow, and it became so hard to maintain it. I had all these different little fences that were separating the areas, and it just allowed grass to grow along the fences because I couldn't cut that. And so I'm taking those fences down, I'm opening up the whole area, and just going to heavily plant and hope that the weeds stay away. I did that in one section, and I noticed that the health of the soil and the amount of weeds in that area is way less than where I had everything separated. So yeah, I have a lot of work to do outside. I've started some of it already, but there's still a lot to do. So anyways, as for the fertility stuff, if anything happens on its own, amazing. I'll be very excited. I'm not counting on it one bit. I don't know when I'm going to go back to the doctor, but I really do want to. And I'm kind of just waiting for life to sort of settle and become more clear. And once it does, I will probably move pretty quickly on fertility stuff. And I've mentioned in the past, I don't really know how far I want to get into it. I don't think that I'm interested in the more like in-depth things that you can do to get pregnant, because I've mentioned I also would like to adopt. That has been part of the plan. It's not like well, if this doesn't work out, if I can't get pregnant on my own, then I will adopt instead. It's more of, I would like to do both. Like, they're both equal in my mind. So yeah, I we'll see how it'll all work out. But I thought I would update you because I have been getting some more questions lately about it. And I really just don't have an answer as to where I am. I don't know myself. And thankfully, Zach has just been very supportive. It's kind of all been up to me, and he's just supportive and kind of wants what I want. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to keep trimming some of these plants, and I'll keep you updated on how things work out outside. But yes, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye, guys.